Welcome to episode 9 of Curry Burger, a podcast on art and life by entertainment designers Adam Fitzpatrick and Sammy Saha. This week on the show, we talk about some of the struggles that we've been facing recently, how it's a roller coaster of emotions sometimes, and how you have to keep battling and pushing forward no matter what. I'm also going to be summarizing some of the great John Cleese's talk on creativity, poorly, but I've also linked in the description the full talk if you wanted to listen to that. It's one of the best talks I've heard on the subject of creativity, and I highly recommend it. Well, without any further ado, let's get into it, and I hope you get something out of it. I know that right now you're saying that you're facing some burnout or some artistic block maybe. Any advice on how you usually get out of that or how you fight that kind of stuff?
I mean, my thing is, I really don't know. It's a burnout, artistic block, or just kind of saying that how badly I suck at it. I really don't know.
No, why would you say that? Are you playing kind of a comparison game where you're just always surrounded by artists that you feel are better than you?
I mean, it's not a comparison game, or it's not that. Well, I compare myself to, first of all, most important. I compare myself to myself who I was yesterday, in art and as in person. But also coming to LA and finding out other artists who also want it as bad as I want it. It's not somebody just drawing for 3 hours a day and he's like, "Hey, I want it." They're also like working as hard as I'm working, and they're so much better than I at the moment am.
So it's kind of this feeling of like, it's this feeling that not only are you working as hard as you can, but you can see other people that are working as hard as they can, and they're ahead of you. So how can you ever expect to catch up?
I mean, yes, they are ahead of me, and also they are like they. I don't know, man. I'm dumb. I mean, I kind of feel that I'm really dumb. By that I mean is that
What do you mean by that, man?
by that I mean is like they come up with all this like things in the head, and I'm like, I cannot come up with all those. It makes me frustrated. I mean, you can understand from my voice is that I'm actually disappointed with myself at this moment. Like it's a temporary thing. It's not that I hate myself and we just go and die or cry. It's just that it's I'm in like that phase where I'm punching the I'm trying to hit one right perfect punch, and I'm in practicing practicing, but
Yeah.
sometimes I nail it and sometimes I don't.
So you're going through that feeling of wanting to snap your pencil in half and punch a hole in the wall. You're just frustrated because you feel creatively dead in a way where you go down to sit down and you look at the paper and that blank canvas stares at you, and you just kind of choke. You freeze. You don't really know what to put on it.
Yeah, sometimes it is, and sometimes the most worst that I was facing is that self-doubt. I was going through a lot of self-doubt and self-criticism. I was being really hard on myself. As I saw this all artist, and I'm seeing other people, those who are like in the industry, they are. I'm at this moment. As I came to LA, I started comparing myself to pros, like those who are in the industry. I'm comparing myself to John Park or Anthony Jones or some other guy, like Fang or somebody. And
Yeah, you're putting the bar
yeah, I'm
at the level of the
yeah.
best person in
So
the
yeah,
area.
but if I compare myself to like comparing myself what I was comparing when I was back in like 2 3 years ago, I have achieved that goal. Like I'm what I wanted to be, where I wanted to be 3 years ago, artistic wise, I am there. But now I cannot
Mm.
just be here. I have to move on, right? So now I've set my bar with the pros. I want to be like Frank Fazet or something, and that's not that's so easy to say, but it's fucking hard, and it's just that
Yeah, it's another thing to. It's a completely other. It's a completely different thing to actually
do
do it.
it right. So I'm
Yeah.
actually going through that phase where I'm really being hard on myself. I'm awake till 5 in the morning every day and going to sleep and then waking up around 11 o'clock and then again sitting down in the same chair, same place, drawing till 5 in the morning, and that's my week routine. And I'm just being so hard because, as I said early on, and by now the audience knows how badly we want this. It's not about like, it's not that how badly we want it, as how much we love this that we are. I'm ready to go through this. I'm okay going through this.
Yeah, I talked to you about this earlier, but I want to restate it kind of for the podcast itself. But there's this dangerous, slippery slope that an artist can fall onto, which is if you're seriously committed to doing this, you have this mentality of I need to spend, hours a day working on it. I need to spend extra time I need to put extra time into this, and that's the right mentality. That's perfectly fine. You should want to put more time into this. The problem can arise when, let's say you work for 10 hours in a day. You can still go to bed and feel absolutely terrible because you didn't do 11. And it's this terrible mentality and this just horrible feeling where every day you feel like you didn't do enough. And that can really hurt you. I mean, it's a mental game in a lot of ways where you have to keep up this positivity and this energy irregardless of how much you can beat yourself up.
Yeah, and I totally agree with what you say. It's as I said, it's totally personally. It's me. It's as I mean, I started in this game really behind everybody. I feel kind of. I'm not saying my audience. I'm not saying anybody who should do like me or who should just follow me. I just for me, I that's why I'm sharing with you guys just because you all know that what I'm going through now. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, I mean, we want people to know that it's not just, we don't just say, oh, it's really hard, but right now both of us are going through a period of really beating ourselves up, either for feeling like we're not working enough or feeling like we're behind in terms of quality or creativity. Every day I'm looking at other artists and seeing their designs and thinking, man, why am I not competing on the same creative level as these guys? And it's just really frustrating and demoralizing if every day you're seeing, hundreds of people that are better than you, and just thinking, if these are students and I'm not even better than a student, oh man, how far do I have to go? You
Exactly.
know,
It, uh, but as you know, as we all know in human history, we find a problem and we try to solve it. So I I went uh, I found this problem of what I was going through, and I have come up with a few solutions, and I'm practicing that for like 2 days now, and I feel much better. Like I feel much better.
all right, please share with me because I'd love to know.
The solutions are very simple. Is that I'm I'm spicing up my art. Um, by that I mean is I try to do different things in a day. I don't just sit in one place and do the same thing. It's because at the end of the day I'll be like, oh, I just did one thing and I'm not happy. If I do three different things and then I'm like, oh, I did this, I also did that, and also that, it kind of
Mm.
makes me feel better. Excuse me. And for that I mean to say is, so my full week I plan. I was before I used to leave like, oh, I have a week. I'll do this. Now I've put down, I have this much hours a day, 24 hours a day, and I've started making my hourly routine. And this is my hourly routine. So by that I do I do something for character design. It can be design, it can be anatomy studies, it can be anything, but related to human figures and characters and all those plays. Second is very painting. I want to learn painting. It can be studies, it can be painting environment, it can be painting the character, it can be anything. And third is something in perspective, also learning how to do fundamentals properly. Like by fundamentals I mean like design sketch, it can be perspective, it can be and like coming up something in three quarter view or 3D space, something like that. So I have this routine and I'm doing this. And I don't have like, okay, from 4 to 5 I have to do this, for 6 to 7 I have to do that. It's not like that. It's just that whenever I feel like burnt out, or I don't feel like I'm not feeling committed enough to do this, I'll just take a break, right? We will take a break. But my break will
Yeah.
be I get up, I just drink a glass of water, I just go to something else, just for better,
Yeah.
and I switch off doing that. And as I'm practicing two things digitally, one thing traditionally, which also helps, where I change my desk. I totally come out from the digital world. I don't have computer in front of me. I just have books,
So
references.
you find that changing your environment, changing your medium, changing your subject,
Is
all of those factors can kind of spice it up in a
Yeah,
way.
it spices up. Still, I'm drawing. It's not that I'm not improving. I'm not like sitting and watching Netflix. It's just that I'm doing something else in the drawing part. So, and also, and when I'm like totally like I don't want to draw, I don't want to do anything, I just go and sculpt. Is the just playing? It's just playing with clay. I just call that playing with clay. I don't even call it sculpting. It's just I want to play, and let's see if I come up with something cool. And
Yeah.
I just play with clay. Yeah, that's so. I was pretty happy
Yeah.
last week. So after I met few artists, they totally ate my head.
Erect you?
Yeah, I mean, come on, they
No, I'm right there with you. Like, if we were to do this podcast 4 days ago, I would be so happy. But it's just surprising how quickly you can fall into a rut, how quickly you can get depressed.
yeah.
This stuff can be, it can be daily in terms of your emotion.
I mean, I was not only happy a few days ago. I was also like, hey, everything is like I was calm and quiet. I was like, everything is finally working out and everything. And then I go to this live drawing class, and I see bunch of art center guys, and I don't even go. I don't even remember what happened then. It totally burnt me by like they're all the students. They're also like, yeah, we are also drawing because we love this. And I see they're like, okay, you can be fucking working. Why are you even practicing? I think I'm not good enough, and that makes me feel like how bad I am.
Yeah, they want their first job
To be like
to be at
to
Blizzard,
be
or
Blizzard
they
or
want their
Riot,
first job to be at Ubisoft or Riot. Yeah,
and I want my
which
first
is
job to
fine.
be
Like,
ABCD companies. What do you design? Oh, I'm designing stuffs. God knows, but we're designing.
I will make the coolest doorknobs for you.
Man, don't even
Believe
go
it.
there. Like
Believe
I
me, I
was,
have the best
so
doorknobs.
I'm freelancing for this company, man. I don't even want to go there. What I'm starting sometimes my day with when the projects hit. So currently I'm freelancing for a company. I cannot bring their name and projects and all everything.
Yeah, sure.
It's a medical company. Okay, get it there. How bad that can be. So what happens is that they send it, and I'm like one of their artists. It's not that I'm the artist. Okay. Uh, so sometimes they send their like piece if they want me to do it. And
Yeah.
the last piece I was doing was soul and brains. What happens if you hit your brain hard? And you have to illustrate.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this reference pictures of like bus brains and everything. You start your day, make a good coffee, strong black coffee, and you start your day with bus brains. Good luck, bro.
So you're doing draw through and perspective of crushed brains.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah,
Nice.
I was feeling really bad, man. Like I was happy that I don't have all those deformation and all those stuffs that some people go around in the world having, and I'm complaining in this chest, complaining about art, and people are in like there who's like, you know what, it really sucks. What? Having a pus brain. I can't even think.
Having a pus brain.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine though this podcast being a record for our future and you end up working on stuff like Dead Space 7 or something. You're drawing monsters with guts coming out of their fingernails and stuff, and you're like, I was training. I was training.
When people say I'm in the artistic block or the writer's block or I cannot think of anything when I'm sitting in front of a blank canvas, what uh, what generally brings you back? I really want to know what really brings you back to the canvas. Like you just listen that something just hit me, like the alien raised the book. I was just doodling and then it's like, no, I just get up and draw. That hit me. So you had any experience that you can share? Like, oh, I was totally shattered and this happened and I was back to my canvas.
Yeah. No, that's a good question. And my answer is pretty much just going to be a summary of a really good talk by John Cleese. Actually, I think I'll try to link it in the description of this if anyone wants to listen to it. But John Cleese of Monty Python did a talk on creativity. And in that talk, he essentially boils things down to you're either in an open mode of thinking or a closed mode of thinking. And the problem is, for the majority of the time, you're in a closed mode, which is what we do when we carry out actions and carry out things we need to do. And the open mode is when we play. The open mode is when you are free to be creative. And essentially, when I face artistic block, it's either a problem of I haven't been in the open mode or I'm refusing to be in the closed mode. And what I mean by this is you have to look at the problem when you sit down and you're looking at the blank canvas, and you have to address the actual issue that you're facing. So if I sit down and I had this great idea for a cool character that has these great weapons and this cool costume that I'm ready to do, and I look at the canvas and I just kind of freeze, I'm probably facing a problem of being in the closed mode, which is just buckling down and doing the work. And so that kind of artistic block is simply an artistic block of discipline, of willpower, of doing your work. And that is something you have to fight through. I mean, both of these things are things you have to fight through, but just doing work is, you have to treat it like it's going to be painful, but just try to do, just tell yourself that you're just going to work on it for 10 minutes. And before you know it, you'll be working on it for an hour. But just try to do it for 10 minutes. If you sit down and you're like ready to work, but you're looking at the blank canvas because you don't know what to draw, you've probably faced the problem of not being in the open mode. You haven't had the time to creatively explore what idea you want to do. And you're facing an artistic block because you're facing an artistic block of creativity. You're facing a block of not having any motivation or interest in what you're about to do. And when you face that problem, the best thing to do is actually to put the pencil down, to leave, to go for a walk or to take a shower or just to get out, get somewhere where there's peace, where there's calmness, and just let your mind think and think about the problem and dwell on the problem. And something John Cleese brings up that I've definitely faced before is that is also difficult. It's difficult to let your mind play because it's far easier to let your mind think about something that's trite, but necessary in the moment, like doing the dishes or responding to an email, than it is to do something that's difficult and you're not sure if you're going to get a result, like being creative. And yet, if you need to be creative and you need to find this way, like this, you need to find an idea, then the best thing you can do is just to find that place, to find that calm, to find that peace, and to think on the issue and the problem, and just push through the first 20 minutes or so of not getting an idea. And then slowly but surely your mind's going to start to open up because it's going to realize that it's in a place where it can start to wander and be creative. And then once you get that inspiration and that idea, you just go back to the drawing board and sit down and work.
Yeah, and one more thing I'd really like to add is that I totally agree with, first of all, what you said. It's totally nailed it. But one thing I found is something just one I faced, and sometimes I think a lot of us face is we don't want to fail. Whatever we draw,
No.
we want to make it like this is it. This is the masterpiece that's going to hang beside Mona Lisa. You know. But I figured out I should think like that a lot. Like I used to sit in front of canvas, and I was like, you know what? Whatever I draw is going to be the best, the epic, and that made me very rigid, very stiff. You know.
Yeah.
So now I just like open something, and I'm like, if it doesn't work, or doesn't close it, and move on. I started becoming very.
That's a really good point that you bring up. In a book called The War of Art,
Mm-hmm.
the guy talks about how you'll often face resistance with the things that you care most about, but have a likelihood or have a possibility of failing. So what he means is that you're going to face resistance, procrastination, any kind of block in anything that you actually care about more, that you also have the fear of failure at. So you're going to face a lot of resistance in terms of drawing because you really want to draw, but you're afraid that you might fail at it. So it's harder to start.
Exactly, and I mean that really helped me. I think it will also help some of you guys. Just try it and let us know. How do you feel? Like sometimes I feel just not trying hard enough. That's like whatever. Who cares? I try to be very loose, and when I'm like that, I try to be more creative, and it helps me to be more creative. It helps me to be more flexible, because I know if it's not good. I'll just kill it. I'll just trash it and start over again.
Well, that was episode 9 of Curry Burger. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or just check out any of the links in the description. You can check us out on Facebook or SoundCloud, and as always, we will be posting next week. Catch you later. Bye.